Welcome to the Resilient AF podcast. I'm Alex Fresh.
I'm Emelia Jackson.
And I'm Bennett Knows. We believe everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and we're here to raise the vibration.
You'll hear stories of incredible resilience, manifestation, and what to do when you find that even resilience has a toll.
'Cause a bitch is tired, honey.
This week, they're doing it. She's pouring a shot. You already knew. She already handed to Bennett.
Big shot, and I don't want it. I am not trying to kick off the new year.
There's
like an alcoholic. I'm trying to start off with that.
I'm not.
We will stop drinking.
On
You wanna?
January
Yeah.
2nd?
Do you wanna be sober
on a
with
day
me?
that ends in Y.
We act like we're fucking alcoholics. We're not. We barely drink.
We barely drink. It's
Every
just
time
Monday
we-
morning. Happy
Yeah.
New Year to us.
No, 2024, baby.
Oh yeah.
It's
Look
a
at
Monday
us.
and it's a new year.
2024.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that
What'd
even
you say?
means anything, but 2024. 2 plus 2
It's a
equals
new
4,
year,
and
new me.
it's
Yes,
in there.
Yes, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
And I thought of that before, and I'm like,
Did
I
you?
like it.
Okay, we're rolling with
I like
then.
it. Cheers.
Could you?
I'm just watching you guys. This is nice. I like that I can just watch you guys be alcoholics, and you guys can't even talk right now because you're just drinking. That was a huge shot, Emelia. Damn it. I'm excited.
was a big shot.
Okay, I'm excited. It's New Year, you guys. Fucking 2023 sucked.
It was a bitch.
It was a fucking nasty ass, cunty ass year.
Whore.
Yo, 2023 was the worst year of my life.
Bennett got up-
Oh, was it?
Everything and anything that could happen did happen.
He literally picks
Yeah.
up our guest mic. He's like, well, I gotta say that.
Yeah, let's use that mic today.
Yeah, 2023, goodbye.
You know, it really wasn't that bad for me.
Oh,
Oh, it was
well,
the worst
lucky you.
year of
I
my
know.
fucking
Well,
life.
I'm
sounds
so
like we're
sorry.
trading places.
actually-
No,
just-
I don't want to trade play.
Oh,
fuck.
no,
Hey,
2024
get that
is going
off
to be
of me.
it's gonna be a
Alex,
great.
do the Reiki. Get it off
It's going
of
to be
me.
a great year.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
Manifesting a great year.
Bennett.
It is. But it was actually the worst and the best year of my life. Really.
I would. Okay, yeah.
Because it was the worst year because I wasn't expecting any of that. But it was the best because I got away.
You did.
Honestly, because I didn't know. Now
And
I
look
know.
at you. You're thriving because you were in the fucking house.
Woo!
You were in the house.
Yo, I was 92 pounds. I don't care if I'm 5 foot tall. 92 fucking pounds is unhealthy.
Can I just say there was one time and I knew, like, she had Jax's birthday and she had it catered by Panda Express, okay? Amazing food, okay? Love Panda Express. This bitch didn't eat any of it.
Yeah,
and
and I
I was
love
like,
Panda.
that right there, I was
Stress?
like, are you good? No, she was not
No,
fucking good.
actually not at all.
And she gave me like 3 platters to take
Because
home.
nobody came to his birthday. So
We did.
Besides you guys?
And that bratty girl.
Yeah. So I sent a bunch home with Amelia.
Yeah, but she didn't have any of the food, and it was good food. So
was
like,
really good.
she was just tiny. I don't know how the wind wasn't knocking her fucking over. Like she was tiny, not eating.
I've gained like 10 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah, you look schnickum.
Love
12.
that.
Love that.
Maybe 12.
That's good.
I liked being skinny, right? But I like this, me too.
You looked sick.
Okay, well, the pictures
You
that I'm
looked
thinking about did
sick.
not look like that.
No, you did. You
Well,
look healthy, and
I
you
did look
look
sick, though. I did.
good.
You look great
Yeah,
But I did have a lot of muscles.
sick, but with muscles.
I did.
Yeah.
It's actually my profile picture on IG at that Dreas if you want to go check it out.
Oh, you
Love
didn't
that.
look that bad.
That's like, 'cause I liked, I mean, there were some pictures I'm like, I
You don't
like
look
being really skinny, but
bad.
fuck that. Because like, I'm a little bit like curvier now and I like it.
I saw her naked
Yes.
all the time though, so I saw her.
Okay,
I
the
didn't-
cups stopped fitting.
They did.
I had to go down to a smaller cup for my butt.
Yeah.
For vacuum therapy.
Yes,
and
we
then it
did.
was such a fucking bitch to get him back up to the
Yes.
next cup again.
And I literally asked you, do you remember me asking, what the fuck did you do?
I'm
That's
like,
what I
I'm
said
just
to you.
Losing weight. Like, I'm just too fucking small right now. And
Yeah.
it was annoying, really.
Yeah, she was sickly.
So yeah, best and worst year of my life.
No.
And Bennett
That
is
we?
not talking at all because he's just vaping over there. Okay,
No,
so
I
wait.
was listening to your story.
I know. Okay, so it's time for Peek and Pit. Bennett,
Go.
you kick it off.
Okay. We'll start off with the pit. All right. So tell me why just before the year was over, like our last episode, but wait, there's more.
Why?
My apartment flooded.
Dude, what the fuck? Okay.
My apartment flooded. Listen, I went to sleep before going to work and took a nap on my couch. And then maintenance is like, doom, 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 like wakes me out of my sleep. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get up, roll off the couch. I take a couple of steps and my floor is soaked. soaked. I walk into my kitchen and there has to be at least like 3 to 5 inches of water covering
What
my
the fuck?
whole kitchen.
That would happen to you,
my
Bennett.
whole bathroom, everything.
Wow, how did it happen?
No idea. Still have no clue.
Neighbors
Wait, where are you living?
in an
In the
apartment.
gutter, obviously. I was like, yo, shit.
I'm like, was it coming? Was it coming down from?
No, it wasn't coming from the ceilings. They open up my door. They don't know where it's coming from. It's not coming from the sink. It's not coming from the kitchen. It's not coming from
Turn
the
the water off,
bathroom.
bros.
Like, it's not coming from anywhere. They go to the next door neighbors. There's a little water in her apartment. They go across the hall. Her bathroom is flooded.
But that's
And
it?
Mine was the worst because you could see all the water like seeping into the hallway from my apartment. So like, I don't know. I have to go to work in a couple of hours anyways. Like, so maintenance is like, all right, we're going to try to figure this out. We're going to bring the vacuum
Yeah.
to bring
The
suck
fan, the
water
fucking
up.
bullshit.
Yep.
Right. They have the fan there now. Like, it's doing anything. But
Right.
Wait, so you're still living in that?
they cleaned it up. So basically,
And you're
overnight.
about to get lupus, right? Don't you get lupus from mold?
Listen,
It's rented.
so then they sent people into my house yesterday that were like doing deep cleaning
Yeah,
all
to
day.
not to not get mold.
I don't think you can
You know,
deep clean
is it
that at that
lupus?
point, though.
Is it lupus that people get from mold?
What?
Something.
Am I
You
gonna
could get
die?
something.
Okay,
You could.
But a lot of people.
I mean, I
here-
wanted to
From
move.
mold exposure.
What is it? It's what?
It's something. No,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
Oh my
about. But
gosh,
like,
a lot
not
of-
me about to die. I want to start
wait,
this
do you
year
have
off
carpets?
No, you're
nice.
about to move.
Do you have carpets?
So I have, I do have carpets in the
Oh,
living
that's
room,
fucked.
living room and bedroom, but no
That's
drying
so
off.
fucked. And the fact that they have you in there, they should have actually. I think there's laws,
I
but
feel like this shit happens to apartments all the time.
it does. But you legally, okay, again, not the brightest bulb in the bunch, okay, but they should move you to another apartment. I'm serious. Can
You
I
don't
call
have
them?
to. You don't
no.
have to.
You
He's like,
want to
"Please
live
don't."
in mold?
Please don't.
You like that? you
No,
like mold?
I don't-
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
He likes mold.
Okay, do you know how easy it is to get mold? I moved into a brand new apartment long time ago, right?
Do you think I'm gonna have like lung
Bennett,
cancer in
you
20
just
years or
interrupted
something?
me.
Sorry.
My story. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about what I was about to say.
You're over because all I hear is
I mean,
mold.
Jesus fucking Christ. You're just like, anyways, Amelia.
Am I gonna die?
Do you know how fucking quick black mold started in a brand new apartment building? I was the first person to live in there.
Yes.
They had to put these things in the window. They had to break out a piece in the wall to get ventilation in. And then it still happened. The fuck? We live in a moist area.
Yes, we do. I was just gonna say that. I was literally just gonna say that. I said it. I was just gonna say that. We live in a very moisturized area. Okay, Bennett, this is not safe or good for your
So now
health.
that it's moist, it's probably in everybody's
Google
house
it.
somewhere, honestly.
Stop it.
Swear to God.
Don't tell me that.
I promise.
No, please don't. Stop.
Lift up a
Alex.
goddamn floorboard. I don't know.
Alex, stop it. Don't
I'm
say
serious.
that.
Okay, yeah, y'all are freaking me out.
What is your peak?
Um,
You don't know? You came so prepared with your pit. I was like, oh, wow.
because I don't really have a peak. I don't have one.
It's
Think of
hanging
one.
out with
Think of
Alex.
one.
I mean, we went
Think
out
of
for we went out to dinner.
Yeah,
on
you
Christmas.
whores.
Yeah,
We did. Oh, my God. And we spent 4 hours at ST, and it was mediocre.
How was it? What'd you guys eat?
yeah. I had a
Good.
crab cake and it was tiny.
And I wish you guys choked on it too. You guys went without me.
God damn.
I know that
You
was a
wouldn't have
little
come anyways.
aggressive.
You would not have come.
I
You know what? If you invited me
looked
to
like you were at a
dinner-
Christmas party yourself.
Oh, you guys went on Who goes out on Christmas Eve?
We were
We
we're
do.
single and ready to goddamn mingle. Okay,
Right.
Like, I don't care what day of the week it is or what holiday. I don't even celebrate Christmas. Why do you think I didn't say Merry Christmas
Ho
on the
ho
last
ho.
podcast?
Okay.
That is true.
What is your peak and pit?
My pit this week. I had a little tiff with a friend.
Ooh.
We figured it out.
Okay,
so
good.
it's fine.
Is that your
it's
peak?
fine.
Peak?
I guess yeah. That's
Which
my
one?
that's my peak. Yeah,
Like,
it's my pit
which
and my
one was
peak.
it?
Was a little tiff. It was,
Well, I love that.
didn't like what I was saying,
You got over it.
but I got a big ass fucking mouth. So
Wait, so did you guys move like you guys are good?
we're fine now.
Handled it like adults?
You're fine today.
Did it like adults. Is that what you said?
Wow.
Yeah. It was fine. It was, this person needed to know more to the story, didn't understand a lot of things happened behind the scenes. And I can't even say because
I
these
know.
people like fucking
Well,
listen
I think-
anyway,
I
and
think
I don't want to get in trouble
The
again.
moral of the story, I think, is you can have tiffs with your friends, and then you can get over it, and life goes on.
Right.
Exactly.
Or you
Me and
could
you?
cut them
Yeah.
off
No.
forever.
Bennett!
I just had to cut somebody
He
off
likes to
forever.
stir the
Dude, what the
fucking
fuck? Are
pot.
No, I'm just
Are you
saying.
drunk?
I'm not drunk.
Not yet.
Not like
Amelia,
you.
you
No.
are.
I'm buzz.
But
Can you?
your pit.
Wait, yeah. What is your pit?
My pit. I told you. I had a little tiff.
Oh, what was your peak?
Oh, my peak. I might have possibly found a storefront, and it's an old dentist office. Okay, and there's 7 rooms in the
Oh my
back. There's a nice big area, and
Freaking out for you.
Yes,
Holy
I
shit, that'd
love
be
that.
fun.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds like a party.
Yeah, and the people that own it, they're amazing. Like they're so kind.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's manifest that you get it for sure.
thank you.
Because honestly, retrograde and Mercury fucks things up so bad. Like,
Yeah.
you could like for sure be like, yeah, I signed that shit, and then it's like the fucking DocuSign just
I know.
Yeah.
disappeared.
You made me realize that the shadow period, that's
It's
the
worse.
fucked up
Yeah.
part.
There's 3 weeks, 3 times a year where Mercury is in retrograde, which basically means that Mercury looks like it's going backwards.
Yeah.
And it just fucks things up, like technology, communication, travel plans, things like that.
Yeah.
They say do not sign contracts during Mercury retrograde.
Okay.
During fucking, it's so hard to say.
Are you having a
Mercury
stroke?
Mercury and
retrograde?
retrograde. But the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after are worse than during.
You
Okay.
heard that, folks. Hold
Crazy.
on to your hat.
All right.
It's going to be
It's
a rough
about
one.
to get bad.
My peak and pit time?
Yes, yours. Finally, let's go.
I'm gonna start with my pit. Mine's always never not that bad, but like I get facials done, and I fucking went and got a facial, and my goddamn esthetician called out sick. That's my
world
pit.
problem.
I was gonna say that, but I couldn't be the one. I couldn't be the one.
love it.
Having Noah's Ark.
I love
She's
it.
like
I didn't even get a call. Like, you
here.
guys, I went there though. Like, they could have given me a call. Hey, your esthetician is sick.
Oh wait, you're saying that you showed up there?
Showed up and she wasn't there.
Shady.
That's kind of.
I wanted my goddamn facial, okay?
Was it your chemical peel or was
No,
it just
was
a facial?
cryofacial.
Ooh,
So
cold.
I was getting my IV at the same time. 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm that kind of girl. Anywhere, all the time. I
Yeah.
try to kill 2 birds, 1 stone.
I love that for you.
I don't even know if that's appropriate to say anymore because it's 2024.
Is it not?
But
think
just
it
'cause
is,
everything,
right?
everything I know it probably is. So I got the IV. I guess I was
Yeah.
proud of myself for staying to do that because I was almost about to walk out the door.
I would have. Because
Yeah.
how are you not gonna? At least I
like-
text my
They
clients
said
before
they
I
called me and they
cancel
said
on
they
them.
left a message. I'm like, oh really?
You should have showed them
I
your
did.
phone.
Oh, where? Is
Are
the
they gonna
message?
give you a free facial? I would.
There was
Yeah,
there was
you
no
deserve
missed call.
one.
I showed them and they were like staring at it like.
because they knew.
Anyway, my peak is I had so many, you guys. I know I should have just picked one because it really should just boil down to like one thing.
She's bragging. She had so many.
So many.
But come on,
So
it was
many.
New Year's weekend. I went to Leavenworth for the first time this weekend, and holy fuck,
Who did
It
you
was
go
your
with?
first time?
yes.
It was your first time? You
I
did not
love
say
that.
that.
So I went on Friday, and I stayed with my friend Laura and her husband, and then another couple, and then Jess came with me. And oh my fucking god, the
But,
most
yeah.
fun. Okay, so I was at my friend Laura's house, and I'm like, I'm so mad at you guys that you guys are going out for the entire weekend. Like, I want to see them on New Year's at least for a little bit. And
Yeah.
she was like, oh well, you should just come. They've rented this cabin in
Yeah.
Leavenworth, and I'm like, no, because I want to go out
Yeah.
in the city, and I don't want to be in the fucking woods.
My Laura.
No, my Laura.
No, my Laura.
No. Our Laura.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I was at her house. I'm like, I'm only coming if Jessica comes with me. And then I text her right away and she was like, yes, let's go. So
Fun.
the most fun. So that was definitely my peak.
What did you guys do?
Hot tub, orgies.
that.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
I love
But
that.
it was fine. The other couple though, the girl looks just like Megan Fox, for real. And her name is Megan.
She does.
And she's like, honestly, could be her sister. She's fine as fucking wine.
Wait, pull her up.
Yeah.
Pull her up.
And I didn't even, I'm like, you look like Megan Fox. And I knew her name was Megan. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until an
Shut
hour
up.
later.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
And she's hot.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Oh my god.
If you saw her in person, she looks just
She looks like that
If
in
he's met her-
person?
And Laura's her best friend. And I'm like, you look like Megan Fox. Laura's like, you don't say. My other one would be that I hired an OnlyFans manager.
Good job. You
And
did?
the way that she's talking to me, I'm like, am I about to be a millionaire?
Hell yeah.
I'm like, shut the fuck up,
Yes.
bitch. She like logs in and she's like, you're already doing the damn thing. And I'm like, but I don't want to be doing it.
yeah.
So can you please respond to them? Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Good.
You're in the 1%, right?
No, I'm in 5%.
Oh, it's going to put you in the 1%.
It will. It will. It will. Reddit
She said she's going to be in the 1% and she's going to stay in the 1%.
Alex.fresh on OnlyFans.
Get me in the
Alex.fresh
1%. Alex says.
Right. Like,
Let's get
after
it.
you guys do
Yeah.
your thing, then I'm going to do my thing.
Who? Doing what thing?
Who's you guys?
You too. And
You want
or-
me to get an OnlyFans?
Yeah, I thought you were going to do the scene with her
Oh,
and the
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's
everybody.
for her,
Why are
though.
you waiting for us to do that?
Because
And that's just for her.
I just need some of your followers.
Stop procrastinating.
You know what? I think I'm going to get a feet finder.
Ooh.
I'm going
You
to.
can actually buy a manager on there for $100 a month.
Perfect.
And they'll just do all the negotiating for you and just put pics in the vault. and
These
they'll do
feet
that.
are 12.
Yeah, no, because my feet are beautiful.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to do feet finder. I don't know about OnlyFans though.
I mean, OnlyFans, you can just do feet on OnlyFans and there's way more people.
Oh, well then why don't I just do that?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to make a
OnlyFans.
profile
and
right
then
now.
just do feet.
Seriously, I'm making a profile.
For real. Okay, cool. Well, that was a very long peek and pit.
It was.
So it's that time for Ask Alex. Bennett, what is the question this week?
This one's a really good one because I was asking myself this last night.
Okay.
Do you guys think that you should delete all texts and photos from an ex before entering a new relationship?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't. And I don't think you should have to because regardless of that person who was in your life, like they were in your life and you have memories together, I think it's up to the person. Like if you want to, sure, but I don't think you should have to, right? Like if you're in a new relationship, I don't think you have to. I keep all of my text messages because I want to, like, if I need something to look back on.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not always all about the ex. You feel me? Like there's photos that I have that are like my experience as well. I don't want to delete it just because
Totally.
someone's in the photo.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think you would expect a new partner? Like if you went in their phone and there's like a bunch of pictures of you and your ex?
I mean, it depends what the picture was. Like if it was like my girlfriend giving back shots to her ex,
I would expect it.
meh, I'd probably want her to delete that. But if it was like her and her ex-girlfriend, their first time at Disneyland or in Thailand, whatever, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck about either.
Yeah, I wouldn't care either, but someone told me that like it's a must. You have to delete the photos.
Yes, yeah,
I
I
don't
couldn't
think
do
so.
it.
I think it depends on what the picture is, and I just
So nudes, you have to delete.
I wouldn't.
Me neither. I have a whole album with like, and I said that I'm like, I have a whole album of nudes and stuff, and the person was like, "Oh, that's sneak."
okay.
Not if you're not doing anything with them. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I have this one nude, and it's he pushed his penis all the way back up inside of him and made it look
sorry,
like he
what?
had a vagina.
vagina?
So
Vagina.
I still had that on my phone because like, what the fuck? Who does that
fucking
shit?
dead.
I feel like all guys do that.
Do they?
Bennett just admitted that he's done it. Pig or it didn't
push-
happen.
But push it all the way in.
Yeah,
but,
like he pushed it all the way up inside of him, and I was just
up
like,
his ass.
yeah, like
Oh,
it's
okay,
like
yeah.
all the way up him, inside of him.
I just do a tuck. Not
Up his
pushing it in.
ass?
Like no, like he,
Oh, yeah, no,
he
like, he, like,
took the
shoved them.
head.
Yeah.
No, his dick is not that big. It can't,
No, yeah.
he can't put it
It's
in.
just like
no,
it's
no,
like
no,
one of those
honey.
like Chinese finger. No, it's
Yeah,
like
yes,
one of those,
like
the
the-
water ones though.
Yes, like he put it back up, like he took the head and he pushed it all the way up inside of him, and so
Ouch.
it looks like he has nothing there.
Ouch.
So I had that on like an old phone.
I still hold on to that one.
But I have so many pictures of my exes.
Do you
Yeah.
naked?
Oh yeah. I don't do
Really?
anything with them. Like I don't look at them like to like get off or anything.
You don't flick the bean to him?
No, I wouldn't look at those to get off, but I still have them because like there's some really funny pictures, like really funny pictures. Like I would never show anybody them.
Yeah.
But like
Really? And you keep naked pictures too, Bennett?
Yeah, I have a whole folder. Like it's my
Yeah.
nudes, my exes
Okay,
Yeah.
nudes, like
beyond-
other people's nudes that I've received. Like it's,
beyond nudes
yeah.
though, beyond nudes, the ex pictures
Yeah.
together, like I deleted a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I did keep some.
But I feel like the ones you deleted, you had of ones by yourself in that same spot or something
Well,
like
the
that.
ones that I deleted were like a bunch of the same picture that I just kept like one good one of.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense. Yeah. No.
So I did delete a lot, but not all.
These are my experience. Like this is my experience. I don't want to like have to delete a bunch of photos because because of my past. You feel
Yeah,
me? Like,
sure. Great
like,
question.
I want to have those memories.
Yeah.
All right, it's that time of the week for the resilient story. And this week, I'm just so excited about our guest. Her name is Larissa, and I know her story. Emelia doesn't know her story. Bennett doesn't know her story. And so basically, I'm going to let her just explain exactly who she is and what she's done, where she's been, and why she's here. And it's going to blow your mind, okay?
Okay.
Welcome, Larissa. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it was so good to
much
see
fun.
you.
I know. I'm glad this worked out for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, you're in town. You moved to Arizona though. Okay, so I know Larissa because
Yeah.
I started doing hot yoga in 2014, and she owned this hot yoga studio in Kirkland. So I went there for years, and she's the best instructor, honestly. Like, you and Wendy are the freaking best.
Thank you.
Honestly, ever. So I've tried.
Yeah.
You know, I love hot yoga.
Yeah.
But it's really because Larissa I got lucky, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I was super bummed when you moved to Arizona and you shut Firehouse Hot Yoga down. That was,
I did.
man, that honestly, Larissa,
was
like
sad.
you did such a good job there. Like that place was dope.
Yeah.
Like the room.
It wasn't your typical kind of studio. I mean, community wise, like it wasn't like the pristine, perfect studio. And I didn't want it to be that way. I wanted it to be a home away from home
Loved
for
it.
people. And I made
your
a
dad.
living room in the front area. So like
yes.
people would just hang out afterwards until like 8, 9 o'clock, grab
I
dinner
love
and
that.
bring it
It was
over. And we
honestly
just hang out. It was so much fun.
such a
love that.
vibe. It was
Yeah.
such a vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just very nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah. So maybe you should open it again, but
guess.
in Arizona, do a
I know.
copy paste in Arizona.
Well, it's kind of funny because there is a studio that closed down there recently, and there's been a few people who know about my history as a yoga teacher, and they're like, "Hey, do you think you want to open up another studio?" I'm like, I don't know,
Ooh.
but I'm kind of thinking about it again. So
love
Yeah,
that.
you
We'll
are
see.
really
I don't
good.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it was
Okay.
up to Alex, you would.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
I do plan on moving to Arizona someday, so
It's
you
a
know,
good
it's kind of like the
place.
synchronicity is synchronicity.
Yeah.
Get it ready.
Yeah.
That's the word. But okay, so but that is not like your story. It's not. I mean, it's an amazing story that you became, a yoga instructor to begin with, but to open up
Correct.
your own studio is insane.
Yeah.
But how about you just kind of dive in wherever you think would be best for people who have no idea who you are or like your
Yeah.
story, or who other person might not, be.
Well, I would think like is sort of like how I started doing yoga in the first place.
Yeah.
Might be an okay place to start.
Okay.
So I was a party chick back in the day, and I was busy doing that kind of stuff. And this guy who I work for at a restaurant in downtown Kirkland kept telling me like, you should try hot yoga. And I was like, I don't have, wait, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
As much as you fucking want.
Okay, good, because I'm a trucker mouth. So I was just like, I don't have time for that. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm not interested. And plus, like, what is yoga anyways? Is just people like sitting around stretching. Like, I'm a gym rat. I was a gymnast when I was younger. Like, I have no interest in that whatsoever. And
Yeah,
I-
because this was before it got big.
Yeah.
yes.
So when was this? Because like it's
Oh, yeah, good
everywhere
question.
now.
Good question. So I started in like late 1999, I think was my
okay.
very,
Wow.
very, very first class. And then I did like a deep dive into it in like 2000. So
Okay.
Yeah.
think of like the end of 1999 and beginning of 2000
Yeah, that was
when I
before it
started.
became like trendy.
She's
now.
a-
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
So it
that.
was still weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like all the hippy dippy.
Yeah, people were like,
yeah.
"What are you doing? Why?
Yeah.
Is it like a cult?" Which I later found out it was.
Yeah.
So interesting. So yeah, I took my first class basically because I wanted my boss to shut up and stop asking me to go. And 2 days after my first class, I fell out of bed. I was living at my parents' house at the time, and I crawled up the stairs and I begged my mom to get cereal because I couldn't stand up. I was so sore.
Oh my God.
And she was like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Yoga." And I got to go back. I got to figure out what happened. That was so weird. I was so sore.
Oh my gosh.
So something kind of clicked for me, and I wanted to just, I don't know, like it just made sense to me, like physically, mentally, emotionally, in a way that all the other workouts that I did didn't make sense. And because I had a traumatic past, drugs, alcohol, sexual trauma, et cetera, I wanted to do something better with my life. And so I had this moment where I knew if I didn't stop doing what I was doing, I'd probably be dead in a year. So I told all my friends that I partied with and did drugs with, I was like, not hanging out with you anymore. I'm doing yoga now. And I just deep dived and started practicing every day, twice a day. I did 60 days of yoga, turned into like 113 days.
That became your new addiction.
Yeah. It sure did.
But it's amazing.
It sure did. So I think because of the history that I had and coming into yoga, I believe like in retrospect that I was very ripe to be manipulated into this community. And at the time, of course, I didn't think of it that way. I just was like, oh, this is a healthy addiction. And I'm doing yoga and I'm around people who are really healthy. And so I just quit my job, started learning to become a yoga teacher with the studio owner at the time. And he had, at some point during this process, he had introduced me to Bikram. So hot yoga comes from Bikram. Or, well, I should say original hot yoga because it's
right, because he stole it.
Yeah.
So Bikram, how do you say his last name? Choudhury?
It's Choudhury. Yeah.
So he says that he invented hot yoga, but he was a guru, right? He stole it from someone from India.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yes, he stole it from his teacher or his guru, but the heat came in later from his students who were cold and wanted heaters in the room. At least this is how I remember it.
Okay, interesting.
And so that was when the heat started coming in to his teaching, and then he basically coined or, created, if you will, hot yoga.
Okay, that makes sense.
Wow.
So when you hear Bikram's always hot yoga.
Right.
So he created hot yoga.
Right.
So he's from India. He moved here when?
70s, 60s, 70s.
And he was married,
like
right? So married with kids.
He has 2 kids. Yep.
So how did you meet him?
So I met him through my teacher, the studio owner. So my teacher, he was very close with Bikram and his family. And so
Where did they live?
They were in Beverly Hills.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
and he would just visit in Kirkland.
Yes.
Okay.
So my teacher, I'm being careful not to use his name.
Yep.
But my teacher, he would fly down to LA. He would help out with teacher training. He would stay at their house. He would take care of their house. He was sort of the protege, the next one to take over the Bikram yoga community. I don't know, like I'm
enterprise.
Enterprise. I know. I was like, enterprise,
which is making a lot of money.
Yes. A shit ton of money. Millions.
I'm so
and
sorry.
millions.
Bikram is
a man.
Is a person.
Is just the guy that stole it from
yoga. He stole the postures from his guru.
Yeah.
But he added the heat to make it hot yoga.
Okay, got it.
So that's why it's called Bikram.
Okay.
Given a lot of information from, I look at it as like I was brainwashed.
Yeah, no, you were.
I was manipulated. I was brainwashed. So I always like to preface it by saying like, this is my understanding of it, but I can't say that it's actually true because what we were told wasn't necessarily true. And a lot of the stories may be based out of truth, but they were also fabricated and dramatized and convenient for the person who is sharing it to you.
Manipulated.
Yeah. So my understanding is like in India, when you have a student come to a guru, the guru would give you specific postures based on the ailments that you had. And so his guru came up with a sequence that basically you can teach to a larger group of people. So you didn't have to say like, here's 5 postures, go home and see me next week like a doctor. It was, okay, here's all the postures that most people need, especially in the Western world. Here's a sequence. And then the guru wanted Bikram and other teachers to go share that and spread that to the world, especially the Western world. So again, Bikram comes over here, actually like from India to Japan. He had his Japanese grandmother out there, Hawaii, and then, eventually landed in Los Angeles. I think he first started in San Francisco and then came out to Los Angeles. So started teaching like celebrities and, back in the 70s, 80s. And then
you can look up videos of him like teaching these huge classes. And what it was
Really?
like, he has like a headset on. He's like up on this pedestal and he's like
God,
thing.
basically.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he thought.
Yeah. And for me, like, because again, where I came from and what I was trying to do with my life and clean it up and have a different path, I looked at him as a God, definitely like a father figure or a God. The way that people talked about him, it was like he could see you and see through you and know what's best for you. Like he could see your soul,
So essentially though, you're being kind with the words, but to me, That's a predator.
Yes.
He was preying on you.
Oh, well, and not just me, but
Everybody
a
else.
lot
That
of
was-
people.
yeah.
And he was very targeted in who he was a predator towards.
And he
And
very much
or
liked
not.
you, didn't
Yes.
he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He you guys were very close,
very, 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 very close.
which you can get into later.
Yeah. So I was introduced to him through my my teacher, the studio owner, because he was very close with Bikram and his family, and I had a relationship with. Eventually, had a relationship with my teacher, studio owner, and so I would fly down to Los Angeles, and I met Bikram and his wife, and I took care of his kids and helped him with their homework. Helped him pack for trips. We'd go get our nails done, shopping, go see a movie. I became part of the family as
They were
well.
your safe place.
Yeah. Or so I thought at the time.
Yeah.
But he was a bigger than life personality. And I do remember the first time that I met him, he came up to Kirkland, and I wasn't a teacher at that point, but I was invited to the teacher dinner, and that made me feel very special.
It definitely made you want to be a teacher
Exactly.
as well.
Yep.
And he's giving you attention.
Yep.
And there's not other females around that are that he's getting the same attention to.
Yes.
And you're like, what, me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And I already thought of him as a God who he was responsible for my life changing, and not realizing that I was responsible for my life changing. But the way that I looked at it and the messages that I received was that he was the one. And that's also the way he spoke. So to me, that's the beginning of the grooming process. I mean, I think it happened before then, but
for sure.
But definitely for sure. And it's I was asked to get him a sandwich and bring it to him, and I was told that he would probably ask for a massage or say I want to make you famous, and I was told how to respond to that. And
Wait, at the dinner?
no.
House, right?
No, this was at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is
so
at
this
the
is
studio
so-
owner's house. So that's why I'm it's so,
Yeah, who
there's
was
so many parts to it. So
Was this
all over the place.
people who were on the payroll for the house that were telling you this, or who was telling you this?
This was my studio owner.
Oh, he was
teacher
telling you.
who was I was in a relationship with.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he would tell me
Yeah.
how to handle
Got you.
conversations with Bikram because he knew what Bikram would say. So that's
Right.
why I say the grooming process already started because it was with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, 'cause they're best friends.
Exactly, and they're best friends.
Yes.
And you're not a party girl anymore. So
No.
for all you know, you're this is
I mean,
this is working and this
well,
is great.
Yeah,
Honestly,
and
everything's
it was
going
an
well.
honor. It was an honor
real,
for
Larissa,
me.
You're young, and I would be blown away if a guru like that, because you didn't know who he was.
I had no idea.
How old were you?
I was 22.
Yeah,
You're a baby.
Oh my
Honored.
gosh.
Honored.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, that's young.
So that's why I say I was perfectly ripe
Oh,
for
Mm-hmm.
that situation to
And the
happen the
grooming
way that it did.
Usually starts within the home, essentially. And
correct.
that's where it did with your boyfriend.
Yeah, it
Okay.
started with that intimate relationship with my boyfriend, right? And I trusted him completely.
Of course,
Right.
yeah.
And he was also a teacher, and again, one of the messages is if you're guru, you basically you give everything up for your guru because your guru knows best.
Yeah.
So I trusted my boyfriend as my teacher and then Bikram as my guru because they knew better than I did because of what I'd been through. And they're charismatic and they've got their life together. They're older.
They're it's a damn guru. And
right.
It's Bikram. Get out of here, right?
Yeah.
So what year was that? That you went to dinner, and then how many years?
That had to be in the 2000.
Okay, and then
it
after
was
2000.
within the first year because I started practicing and then I went all the time and I did the 60-day challenge and my teacher was like, you should keep going. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. I mean, it was day 45 or something. And I was like, okay. So I just kept going. And I every single day I did yoga for 113 days. And my parents were like, wow, you're actually serious about this. And I said, yeah, this has completely changed my life.
Yeah.
Completely. And I want to share it with other people. So that's when my teacher and the teachers of the studio started working with me. And a lot of them were already like, oh, like Larissa, like she is a really good student. She would be a really good teacher. So they were part of the grooming process and didn't necessarily realize that they were part of it either.
Were they being groomed too? Like, are you,
Yeah.
So
gosh.
when you did the 113 days, was that in Kirkland or LA?
Kirkland.
Okay, because I remember you were telling me when you were in LA, like where you moved into and how that whole experience was.
So
This-
fast forward, I'm going down to LA with my boyfriend, teacher, studio owner. And so I got very close with the family as well. And so everything was great and dandy.
That would have been an insane experience, by the way.
Yeah.
To be that person who's like now with Bikram and his family every single day.
Yeah.
And he's giving you a lot of attention still.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
And so one of the first trips that I went down to LA with my boyfriend, Bikram was sitting on the couch, and my boyfriend, studio owner, teacher, basically gestured to me that we were going to massage his feet. So I'd already seen this happen, other people massaging his feet and my boyfriend massaging his feet and his legs and his hands. So I thought that that was normal. He was like, basically like, come help me. Like you massage this foot, I massage this foot kind of thing.
Weird.
And during the time there's, Indian movies going on and Bikram's always explaining like who he knows and blah, 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 like all this stuff.
Oh my God. That was such a weird tidbit that I remember.
He wants you to think he's cool.
Yes.
I hate that
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
painting the whole picture.
I don't like massaging already.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm like trying to put like 20 years in like 5 minutes right now.
Girl, there's so much.
like, there's
I know.
so
I was just gonna
much.
ask you, like, what other things that like were you caught up in, and things that you were doing
Well-
before you realized that you were being manipulated?
Oh, that wasn't until years later.
Yeah.
Okay, so then-
years later.
You said 20 years.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
because I've been in yoga since 1999, 2000. But I mean, I didn't really like wake up until when I had my studio.
Yeah.
But there's even a process within that, and Bikram and my studio owner were still reaching out to me. So that's another weird part of
Yeah,
the
because
story.
if you have a hot yoga studio, you have to be like certified, or else like
You have, yeah.
it's all the strict stuff. When you were like,
You're like, oh my God.
I have to go back. Okay, go
Yeah. So let me finish the story
Okay,
too,
okay.
because this was it's insane. It's insane. Like you're reacting like normal people do. I didn't react that way.
It is insane.
Because the grooming had already started, right? And so when I was down there, Bikram wanted to look into my eyes. And I looked at my boyfriend. I was like, I gave him a look, because I knew I wasn't going to say anything, because I've also seen Bikram mad, and I don't want to be...
Right, you don't want to make Bikram
Yeah,
mad.
I don't want to...
God.
Do not
The
want
guru, what's gonna
to... No,
happen,
don't
right?
want to be on that side of it. And so I looked at my boyfriend, and he kind of nodded like, yes, it's okay. And Bikram wanted to look into my eyes, and he grabbed my face to look into my eyes. And he was like, basically said that we have shared a past life together, like a long look into the eyes, close, face to face. And
Psychotic.
it was, I felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you believe it?
Yes, that's what I
But
was
that's
just.
where they
That's what I was
start,
just
though.
gonna say. What's so crazy about it is it made me believe the
Yeah.
stories that I've already heard, that he knows who you are. He's a guru,
Yeah.
and I've had experiences later that he was speaking to me
See,
through
and
dreams and through his voice coming to me during a meditation retreat. Like I believed everything that people told me. He is beyond human.
Yeah.
And I don't know where this story is going to go, because I still don't really know
Right.
where the fuck this is going to go.
Right.
But
I love it.
I'm gonna have to come back.
I can already tell that he is a predator, but
Yeah.
that's where they start. So like you
Yeah.
guys saying like that's weird, that's creepy. It's not for a predator. They have to start somewhere
I
with the
know.
touching.
Totally. No, I know,
And
I
that's
know.
how like for people that haven't been like preyed on or whatever, like the listeners, they
Yeah.
might be like, oh, that's so fucking weird. What the fuck? But
Why
that's
would you
not,
even do that? Why would you even be
exactly.
there?
But for
Yeah.
a
For
predator,
sure. Yeah.
Like, that's not weird because they want to see how far they can go later
Correct.
on. So they need to get you used to them touching you.
Yes.
And that's
Or you
exactly
touching
what,
them.
or you touching them. And that's exactly what he did with the massaging.
Yes.
And then grabbing your face and looking into your eyes and all of that.
But
And my boyfriend saying it's okay.
It's okay.
And this is an honor because he can tell you about yourself.
Exactly.
What's
So
next?
wait, so is your boyfriend and Bikram kind of like a thing or something?
No. I mean,
Business
maybe.
partners?
no, I okay.
Your boyfriend just likes rubbing his
He's
feet?
essentially
No, no, no,
brainwashed
no,
as well,
no.
too.
I'm
No.
just like, cause I'm
It's-
like, is he in on it with him?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, but I also feel like they were doing stuff.
I believe that they are both very dark personalities that support each other.
Yeah. It's like Epstein and
I
his
mean,
best
they
friend.
want to kill each other
Exactly.
sometimes, but
Exactly.
they also support each other because they know each other's deepest, darkest secrets.
Totally.
And they don't judge each other.
Correct, because they're doing the
Yep.
same thing in their own way.
Just wait, Emelia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come back. We don't have enough time for all of this, but yeah. Okay, so like let's just like fast forward from that introduction to him, and you're right. Like that started like slowly turning into like more and more things. When I'd go down there, I massage his wife. I would brush her hair. I would brush his hair. I would massage him. I would serve him food. I'd help her make food, take care of the kids, et cetera, doing yoga all the time. We're sleep deprived. So you're doing like 2 or 3 classes a day when I would be down there. And then he stays up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning
Because
until
of
he
drugs?
finally, no, well, not that I knew of at the time, but I have suspicion about, but that's not until much, much later. But he doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink, he doesn't eat. He stays up until really late.
Wait, he
And there was
doesn't
no
eat?
any, I
Yeah,
had
it's like-
no indication of it being different than that because I spent so much time with him. He doesn't eat.
You've never
Yeah.
seen him eat?
He eats 1 meal a day.
One meal a day.
The
That
sandwich.
a sandwich. And then he does drugs. He does pills probably that keep him up.
You
He,
think
he,
Or
he's doing
Coke.
coke?
he can't
or
just stay
something.
up.
I don't know. I
I
mean,
feel like who
Maybe
stays
he's
up?
like just
Oh, yeah,
eating
he's a god, I
behind your
forgot.
back.
Right.
Yeah, like he has to put up the
I
facade
mean,
that he's a
it-
god. So he's like, I only eat once, and like
Yeah.
this one. But in the background, he's like
You can
eating
tell though. I feel
and,
like you can tell by his body type that he only had 1 meal a day.
oh yeah.
Because he was,
Oh.
like,
For
he was
sure.
like fat skinny,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, he really did
need
only
to
eat
look-
1 meal a
obviously
day.
his wife is
He
in
drank
on this,
Coca-Cola
too.
all day long, but
Or is the wife like brainwashed too?
I think that she is also
She's
an
in
evil,
on
dark
it,
person
too.
as well. And I think she was completely aware of what was going on, especially with
Yikes.
what happened to me.
That's
I
fucked.
know that she knows what was going on, but she didn't do anything
Oh, of
about
course.
it.
She was, having help.
She was getting what she wanted out of the
yeah.
relationship. It
she was
served a
getting her
purpose
new
for
bag,
her.
She was getting, the money and all that bullshit.
Whatever was important to her, she got.
At the cost of someone else's life.
Many other people's.
many.
Yeah.
Many people's, like not just my own. But
Right.
so let's just like fast forward from that like brief introduction because there's so much to
If you want to come back and do a second one, you
Yeah.
can totally do that.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that you guys are gonna start having like all these questions come up and like she needs to come
I
back.
mean, you can't just not let them know what happened.
Yeah, we
like,
need
didn't
to
happen.
We need
it's like
the middle and the
it's like a
end.
therapy session. You're like, here's everything a traumatic in my life, and then they're like, oh, it's 15 minutes. Okay, well, let me write my couple notes, and then let's make our schedule for next week. And you're like, what? Okay.
No way I could wait until next week.
Oh my
to find out
god,
what
Amelia's
happened.
pissed. Amelia's pissed.
There's no way. I have to know.
Okay,
Oh
because like
God.
there is so much, but
Like-
oh, this is gonna be a two-parter, bitches. Stop it right now. Our next guest. Sorry, you're getting the boot for the following.
Funny.
Literally.
I mean, like,
Two-parter.
I ask him as many questions as you want. I mean, I'm definitely, I'm a total open book about this stuff.
Totally.
Like, it took me a really long time to actually be okay to share my story, but I was like, that's also the predator power dynamic is that they want you to be quiet.
Right.
And if you're quiet, they still have control. And I think that I became the wild card because both my teacher, boyfriend, and Bikram thought that they could continue to control me even after I came forward with what happened to me and even after we settled. I'm still dealing with these men.
Still today.
Not recently, but for a while
Right. I remember
afterwards,
that,
like
yeah.
probably 2 years afterwards or something. But yeah, which is asinine.
Yeah.
But I think once they realized that
Delusion.
they can't actually control me, then that was when it started backing off. But
Interesting.
I feel like as long as they're alive, my parents have asked the same thing. Like, when is this over? I said, not until they're dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Literally.
my
Okay,
goodness.
so-
Wait, could you?
It's gonna
Because
blow
when
your
they
mind.
want to circle around, when they
should
think they
we- So when
need
did
to,
you
they
wake up?
will.
Well, no, should we just
I know.
have her like, because I
You
don't,
wanna know.
I do want to
Maybe
know,
you
but
should
I'm
tell
saying
us what
because
happened.
if you're coming back, then why don't we like wait to hear
So,
the
yeah,
rest of
this
this
is-
stuff?
Well,
The-
because there is a part 2, because after what happened
So,
to me,
yeah,
there's
bring
like
us
all
to
the
that.
stuff that happened afterwards.
Right?
Could
Yeah.
you bring us to at least to what
Okay.
happened?
Here, this
So
is
we
what
could-
we should.
Yeah,
this is what you
like-
should do. Tell what happened. Don't go to any other details or anything that happened after, because after is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
only
Yeah.
imagine. I just want to know.
So that is. So we can go. You can say what happened, and then just talk about that story real quickly,
Yeah.
and then everything to follow.
Will it be later? So I have to give you a little bit of context or backstory because my boyfriend and him were very close. My boyfriend started teaching other styles of yoga. That was not okay. Okay. So they had a falling out, which they've had a couple, and they come back and then they, whatever. So they had a major falling out. My boyfriend and I also, around that time, were breaking up because he was having sex with students behind my back and telling them that we were in an open relationship and I supported it. So he would have students who were becoming teachers come over to our place, and I mentored them and I befriended them. One of them got pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
And he was having sex with 2 sisters. One of them was underage, I think, at the start of their relationship, reintroduced drugs to my life. So that's why I say there's a lot to this.
Yeah.
So,
Layers.
a lot of layers. So there was like so much stuff going on. Anyways, I was still under the influence of my boyfriend, and so I supported him opening up a studio outside of Washington. So I was going between Washington and the other state that I went to. And so Bikram was calling me and asking me to come down to LA to see him. And I knew he was wanting me to make a choice between my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend at the time, and him. And my boyfriend knew this. And so we had a conversation before I even went down to LA. And he's like, he's going to try to have you pick sides. I know what you're saying, but that's not my business. What happens between you two? My choice is always yoga, 100%. That's always been my commitment.
Yeah.
So I did agree to go down and see Bikram. And I met him in his office. He sat me down and basically told me how awful my boyfriend was, that he was cancer and gangrene. I had to cut him out of my life. He spent like 2 or 3 hours with me. I mean, it just was on and on and on, and trying to get me to choose him and not my boyfriend. And I was like, I'm not choosing either one of you. I'm choosing yoga. And so this went on and on and on and on. And he was just still trying to convince me, you have to be with the family. I've never lied to you. I love you. You're part of our family. I will take care of you. You need to not talk to him anymore. He did X, Y, Z. And again, I'm like, some of it I knew already.
And
But
again, it's Bikram.
right. And yeah, I'm not going to argue with him.
Yeah.
I was just like, how can I, what's the word? Placate him, right? Not upset him, but I'm not choosing him, and I'm not choosing him because he's also fucked up.
Yeah.
But I was under the influence of him too. So I basically, he told me that I made a choice. He walked me to the office door, kissed me on the cheek, and told me I was no longer welcome there.
Oh.
Which I knew that meant I was blacklisted. But I've seen him blacklist people publicly. He did that privately with me. So he does it differently with different people.
Why
Because
do
he
you think
wanted
did
you to
that?
beg
Yeah,
for
why did
him
he do
back.
And I'm not that way.
I feel like he wanted her to beg for him back, and he was not ever going to actually blacklist you. That's why he didn't do it
It was just
publicly.
another
But
power
he
play.
knew that that's all he had to say to me because I knew what it meant.
Because you come back.
But I also knew what it meant.
Yeah.
So
No
he
yoga.
didn't have to blacklist blacklist me, I blacklisted myself. You know,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
No, totally. Yeah.
So I went home and I continued teaching for the group of people I was teaching for, including my ex-boyfriend. If I tried to teach elsewhere and he has spies everywhere and found out, then he would tell them, fire her. She's not allowed to teach my yoga.
Yep.
So I already knew from past experiences and observations what I could and couldn't do, so I can continue teaching yoga but stay underneath the radar and not upset him. But if I wanted to go to Australia or, you know, anywhere, if I wanted to go anywhere and teach, they might not know immediately, but they would find out soon enough, and he would get me blacklisted.
Because he has the certification.
Because
he has the
'Cause
power.
He's God. He's God.
Yeah, because
He told me to spy on people. I would go to classes and report back to him.
Yeah.
This is like a whole
a cult.
scheme.
So-
Well, it's a cult. No, it
Scientology,
is.
religion.
It is 100% a cult.
So before we get into any more, do you want to talk about that experience?
About a year later, at that point, cut off the ex-boyfriend. You know, I had woken up enough, but I was still very much under his influence, way under his influence. But anyways, fast forward about a year later, I went on a 10-day meditation retreat, no talking, et cetera, et cetera. I heard Bikram's voice and he told me to come back. Literally heard his voice during the silent retreat that it was time to reconnect and that I needed to call him. I heard his voice. So again, I have every reason to believe that this man is a god. He's defies normal human, you know, understanding. Yeah. When I came back from that retreat, I talked to my girlfriend and I said, you know, I heard his voice. Like I heard him tell me to call him. And she goes, well, you should. I'm like, I haven't talked to him in like a year. I sent an apology letter to him and his wife. I didn't get any response. So I don't think I'm out, like no longer part of this community. I mean, I'm part of our community, but I'm not part of the greater community.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, just call him. And I said, okay. So I give him a call and I said, you know, hey, Bikram. And he goes, who's this? And I go, Larissa. Larissa who? Larissa from Seattle. Oh, sweetheart, how are you?
Are you telling me that he didn't know who you were right off the get?
He does that
He
all
knew.
the time. He does that all the
knew.
time.
Ew.
No, that's
He
just
wanted
that's
to make
normal.
her feel
Part of the
little.
game.
That's normal
Larissa who?
Bikram.
Larissa who?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean that's a Bikram kind of thing, you know. And
But it's also to make people feel little too. So like
Yeah.
you were like,
yeah.
Like, oh, I don't remember you. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I slightly
Yeah.
remember who you are.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Oh, you.
Yeah,
I don't
it
like
doesn't
him.
come out with a weird tone, but I get what you're saying
Yeah.
because it's that's
It's
the
manipulating.
manipulating part of it. They're like, oh no, but he was nice about it.
Yeah.
But the message still gets
Yes,
through. That's-
exactly.
Yeah.
So what?
I spot these kind of people
Yeah.
within a mile
yeah.
away.
The
But when
girlfriend.
you're in the thick of it, you don't see.
No, I
all
get
of-
it, 'cause
like,
I was-
It's literally like forest,
Yep.
Right?
for the trees
Yeah.
or whatever.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And you hope for the best.
It
for
takes
people.
time
Yeah.
to spot people. Yeah.
There's
No.
so many things.
The girlfriend that's like, hey, you should just call him for
Yeah.
sure. Just she's obviously
She's
caught
part
up
of
in
it
everything
too.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
anybody else
Yeah.
would be like, no, girl,
Right. And
do
that
not call.
Yep.
him
do
at
not
all.
call, like,
No.
move on,
She's
like-
yeah,
But it's
definitely call
Bikram.
him.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's like honestly crazy because like it makes sense, right? And they know how to do it.
Right.
So
and
you-
that's why I also say that they were master puppeteers. So they were controlling people and with people not even realizing that they were being controlled.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Because we were so brainwashed and, you know, groomed, et cetera, that it
Yes.
just became a natural, like, oh, well, you know, call your ex-boyfriend, call Bikram, you know, that's just what you do. Like Bikram will tell you what to do and who to date and yada, yada, yada. So like that was all ingrained in our community. And so, yeah, I called him. I go, you know, I'm sorry, you know, it's been a long time since we've talked. And he's like, don't even worry about it. Like he was kind of like, what took you so long? That's the first thing he said. He goes, what took you so long? And I was like,
Well,
you kicked me out of your office. And he goes, oh, sweetheart, it's like nothing even happened. Don't even worry about it. I think he was in Japan at the time. He said, I'm coming home. My wife is at home. The kids are there. Why don't you fly out and we'll spend time together? Like nothing ever happened. Don't worry about it. You're part of the family. It's fine. So I went down there with, good intent to reconnect with him and basically get his blessing, if you will, to continue being a Bikram yoga teacher, because you need to have his blessing. Otherwise he'll make your life hell. So, I tail between my legs and went down there, spent time with his wife and with his kids, same thing, brushing hair, massaging, serving food, et cetera, et cetera. And his wife went upstairs to go to sleep. So did the kids. And the way that his house is, like, you walk through the front door and it's like 2 stories high, and you walk up the stairs and it's think of it like kind of like a U shape. Okay, where the bedrooms are. Okay, and then the living room is below that.
So it's like a railing.
Yes.
U
So
shape.
it's an open space, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
A rich person's house.
Yes. Yeah. And then, so where the master bedroom is, below that is where the, so instead of being 2 stories high, you have the ceiling. That's where the dining room is. And then you have another family room and kitchen, and the master bedroom is above that.
Okay.
So just kind of give you a picture. So, a lot of yoga, not a lot of sleep, typical, not a lot of eating because you didn't have time to, because you're doing so much yoga. And he, was playing movies, Bollywood movies, turned the volume up, and, asked me to give him this massage, which was normal at that point, and kept asking me to go up his leg. And I would only go to a point where I felt comfortable with, which was still not comfortable for me, but it got normalized for so long. All the free massages that he's gotten is insane. So I was literally like passing out. I was so tired and exhausted. And I remember like sitting on the floor in front of the couch and trying to watch the Bollywood movie, because he started dozing off. And so I was like, how do I sneak out of here without actually waking him up? And so I was massaging his hands, and that's why I was on the floor. And I said, Bikram, I'm really tired. Like, I want to go to sleep. And he said, oh, sweetheart, just, a couple more minutes. And started explaining the movie again. And then like the next thing I know, like he grabbed my face and he kissed me. And we already know that he has affairs. He has brought his mistress to the house. I've seen the mistress at the house with the wife there. The culture is very different as far as marriages and how that's handled, or at least that's been my impression. And so that was just sort of, again, normalizing abnormal things, right? But I knew I was like not interested in being that person in his life. So I pulled back and I said no. He pulled me back in, kissed me again, and I said, Bikram, I don't want to do this with you. Like, I'm not trying to be that person. And he said, okay, sweetheart. And he stood up and he grabbed my hand. He walked me over to the family room, which is now covered, right? Master bedroom. So this is no longer the open space that if anybody came out of the bedroom, they would see. And in my mind, I thought that he was taking me to apologize. And he brought me to the other room, sat me on the couch, and then he raped me. I had an out-of-body experience. So because I've had past trauma, I've had rape happen to me before, I went and I watched what happened. So I saw what happened from above, and my body was frozen. I didn't make any noise, and then he stood up, put his shorts back on, and went into the other room, sat back on the couch to watch the movie. And I got up, put myself together, and walked over. I kissed him on the forehead and I said goodnight. So I walked up the stairs to my bedroom and I was like, fuck. Is there anything here? Can I lock the door? What can I put in front of the door? Is he going to come in here? Does he think that I wanted it? I didn't want it. And now he's going to come up here. He's going to have sex with me. And I never said yes. And so obviously I didn't sleep very well that night. And in the morning when I did get up, I walked downstairs and his wife was on the couch. And she looked at me different that day. And so I think that she knew what happened.
Do you think because he told her, or was it
I
cameras?
have no idea. I have no idea, but
I mean,
My
she also
my
knows
energy-
what type of man she's
I mean,
married
the bitch
to.
Right.
is in the house
So-
and everything.
And yeah, but to
so-
know that day though that happened, she either had to have seen it on cameras or he told her.
Right.
Told her,
But
Yeah, I feel like he would tell her.
yeah.
He
So
knew what he was gonna
So
do.
that's also like, let's look at the fact of like the power dynamic. So because in his head, I went against him a year before. Now he's saying this person is dead to you, but from a power standpoint, I'm going to make sure you know, never go against me, because if you go against me, this is what happens.
Yeah.
And he also silenced me in the process of doing what he did. So it's like this multi-level power dynamic that's happening there that I didn't know, but in retrospect, I can look back at it now.
And to people
So-
that have never had to deal with, that have been fortunate enough to not have to deal with people like
Yeah.
this.
And I wear everything on my sleeve kind of thing. Like if you know the energy that I have. So I know that she was probably reading my energy as well, but I could tell that she knew something.
Oh, yeah.
And how she knew, whether it was just me or something else, I don't know, but she knew. And so I just was like, I just need to survive this day. And then I'm going to be going home. I think it was like the next morning, I'm going to be doing a bunch of yoga, and I'm just going to go home. And when I went home, the girl who I was living with, also a yoga teacher, one of my really good friends, she was like, how did everything go? She was so excited because I was reconnecting with him. And I was like, I couldn't talk. I like could barely look at her. And she's like, what is going on with you? I'm like, I need a morning after pill. And she goes, what? I'm like, 2 of them. I need 2 of them. She goes, what? And I go, he had sex with me. And I didn't say yes, and he didn't use anything. And I know that everybody thinks that the women that he has sex with, that they want to do that with him, and I didn't want to do that with him. And what if I end up becoming pregnant? They're going to think that I had sex with him, tried to get pregnant to get something out of it, and that was not what happened. Like, I just need this to go away. So she gave me morning after pill, and then it was kind of like, let me brush it underneath the rug. But I started doing drugs again. I started drinking again. I started smoking again. I went back to my old habits from previous traumas. And the whole point of me doing yoga was coming out of that and dealing with things in a healthy way. Now, let's go back to the girlfriend who told me to call him after the meditation retreat. And when I finally told her what happened, it wasn't right away. But when I did finally tell her what happened, her response was, your out-of-body experience was probably him removing your ex-boyfriend from your body.
She's sick as fuck.
Well, everybody thinks
But she's
that.
just as brainwashed
I
as
know,
everybody
I know
else.
she
You know
is.
what I mean?
know,
So I'm
I know,
like,
but
Everybody's brainwashed.
still, that's
Yeah,
so,
so
Everybody's
fucked
brainwashed.
up.
to say.
It's so
It's
fucked up.
disgusting the power that this man had, that like anybody at the time, everybody knows, well, everybody should know that these things are wrong.
Yeah.
The wife,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
the girlfriend, the fact that you told her like, yo, this man touched me.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you were healing.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was a healing
beyond
process.
me.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was a
Crazy.
healing
And
event.
that's just very cult-like behavior.
Right.
Like, it truly is.
like,
Right.
even if you
But
did
it's
say
still
something,
sick.
who
It's
knows?
super sick, yeah. And same girl, when I did come forward publicly, her response again at that time, I was still friends with her. But I also made sure that I wasn't alone with him from that point forward. So I used certain people who knew what happened to me, but were also close enough with him, so I always had a buffer. For the most part. I somehow managed that for years. And then he tried again many years later when I was starting to open up my yoga studio.
Wow.
So we'll have to come back to that later. But when I did come forward, there was another girl who'd come before me who hadn't been raped, but he had attacked her. And I thought I was the only one. That obviously opened things up for me. And then I had talked to her and I said, this happened to me. I'm not the only one. I feel like I need to say something. And she's like, she's crazy. Everybody knows she's crazy. And why would you go against the family? Again, in retrospect, we were totally in a cult.
Yeah.
Totally 100%
Yeah.
in a cult.
Yep.
Completely.
Quote unquote family.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Whoa. All right. Well, there's okay. Yeah. Do not Google where he's at or what he's doing because part 2 is coming.
Yeah.
And it's wild. So next Monday we'll have a part 2 and we'll find out how she woke up and how she came forward and the process of all of that and what followed. And you're not going to want to miss it. So that's going to be next Monday. Sorry, it's a cliffhanger. So, okay, if you want to hear the part 2 of the Resilient guest, tune in next Monday. Same time, same place. There's going to be some juicy drama and details that she's going to spill. And I actually have heard a lot of it. And you guys are not going to want to miss it. It's insane. I'm for real.
Her story's crazy.
It is.
It really is.
I knew you guys did not see what was
No,
coming.
because I didn't look into it.
I mean,
I'm
I
going to
feel
be
like
honest.
that's good. I feel like that's good.
I didn't want
a certain
to.
point.
And I
Yeah.
still don't know what's going to happen. Like,
But
we don't
it's-
even know how she gets out of it.
I mean,
I
the
know.
fact that like she was
In a
the one
cult.
chosen to be part of that family as a nanny type.
It's
And for her to be my first
crazy.
yoga teacher, who made me fall in love with yoga, I had not a clue.
That just tells you how good her heart is, though.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
Like the fact that she continued on with something that she loved
Yo.
and then made you
was
fall
the
in love with
best.
it.
And like I'm telling you, the best. I did yoga a lot after that at
Yeah.
different places. She's such a good teacher.
Yeah, I love that.
So she's gonna be back next week, and then also I think we should do Ask Alex every week.
Yes.
I kind of really like that segment, and it's fun. So hit us up on Instagram if you have a question that you want me to answer, but it can't be
Spicy.
stupid.
Make
Right?
it a spicy
It needs to be
question.
very
It
spicy.
needs to be good.
Let us
be-
know what's going on in
Like
your
I
crazy
want
life.
to be able to answer some fucking spicy questions. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it. Like I will come through, and so will Emelia and
She's
Bennett.
gonna come through.
Yeah. Come through,
And
honey.
then we're gonna do a game with Emelia. I
what
think
kind
we
of
should do
game?
a game. I really do.
Why with me, though?
I think we should
Trivia.
finish it with a game every week, you
Okay.
guys. I think this is a new thing. We're not even taking it offline. We're keeping it online.
Okay.
Did you
And we're
say
making
ballerina
sessions.
story?
No.
Is that? No, we're not doing ballerina
Maybe we'll
story.
do like a spicy question.
Okay.
Because the
A
ballerina
spicy
stories
question
would
game.
go-
People love
they
games.
love games and they like to participate and they like to
Yeah.
beat you, and maybe it should be a trivia game.
Okay. Yeah.
Ask me a question. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I might need some help, so hit us up on Instagram or Twitter or Reddit. I don't think we have Reddit.
I posted a it was
OnlyFans? No, we don't have OnlyFans. but
literally
we're
they
going to.
kept doing the eggplant emoji and the water emojis on us because I posted our picture.
On Reddit?
Yeah, on Reddit.
I
they
love
were
it.
getting wild
Wow.
on there. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God.
Yeah, those pictures
Send
went
me that- send me that
crazy
link.
Yeah.
on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Send me the link.
Yeah.
Send me the link.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, go hit us up on Reddit, I guess. Resilient AF3.
Yeah.
Direct message me at that Dreas. Amelia, where are you at?
At Emelia Jackson 94.
Thank you.
I'm at Bennett Knows.
And we're at Resilient AF3 on pretty much every platform. So go find us there.
Yeah.
Okay, holla at
Where
you
are you
later.
at?
Ooh, ooh, I said where I was at. I said it first.
That Dreas.
I missed it.
Oh, because you're drunk.
I'm not drunk. I'm high.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.